But one time I was trying to leave something on a shelf, and this guy walks up to me and says, "Oh, I'm gonna help you with that because you're too short." And I'm like, why do you people do this to the grown-ups? Is it that we should stop growing or what? I'm like, what? You want to take a break from the Lord Jesus Christ? A break for what? Did you know you can be invited to like the wedding ceremony at the church or at the court, and you're still not invited to the dinner party? Can you imagine? You just allow me to wear my clothes and come to the church or come to the court to tell you congratulations, and then you tell me bye-bye. I will not partake of that rice. We not tell you to write a motivational letter. I'm going to write a motivational letter to get a house. It's as if it's the house that wants to come and live in me and not me live in the house. The weather has a mind of his own. So there was a time it rained, it snowed, and later it became sunny, all in one day. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. If this is your first time on my channel, welcome. And if you are a returning subscriber, hey, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. I want to talk about the culture shock I've experienced whilst living here in the Netherlands as a Nigerian. So yeah, let's go. So the first one I want to talk about is the registered partnership. Now here in the Netherlands, it is quite normal to see people living together without being married, and it's even legalized. Don't get me wrong, in my country we have something like that. It's not a legal thing. They call themselves husband and wives, but here in Netherlands you see hear them call themselves boyfriend and girlfriend. So when I just came in, I met a few persons and said, "Oh, meet my girlfriend," and next thing they're telling me they have 4 kids. I'm like, how are you calling the mother of your kids girlfriend? It was a bit weird, but I got used to it and I said, okay, it's a thing. Okay. The next thing would be the directness. Now my husband told me before I came to the country that these people are quite direct. I was like, come on, do you know where I'm coming from? Do you know what I've read before? What would they say that would be so direct that I'll be like, it shocked me. But guys, so although my husband argues that this is not being direct, but one time I was trying to leave something on a shelf, and this guy walks up to me and says, "Oh, I'm going to help you with that because you're too short." Tell me something I do not know. Tell me something. No. Tell me something I do not know. Another time I went to see a friend. Now, I'm not going to lie. I was, I think, some minutes late. So when I got there, she was all so nice. We had we had tea, we had cakes, and it was really beautiful. And somewhere along the line, she was like, when do you think you'll be leaving? Because, yeah, I think we spent a couple of minutes now and you can go. In my head, I'm like, did I say something bad? Did I do something bad? Why will you just tell me to carry myself and be leaving? That's not how we roll. But you don't do that. And I was like, oh, okay, I could leave now, because at that point it just became uncomfortable, like literally uncomfortable, and I wanted to leave immediately. But it was raining, so I already went downstairs and it was still raining, and she said, "Oh, please, you can come back, you can come upstairs and just chill till the rain stops." And I went upstairs, but believe me guys, I wasn't comfortable anymore, and she was trying to put a movie and everything. I was trying to watch, but it was as if the movie was watching me, because at that point I already zoned out and I was thinking. And when I got home, my husband was like, "Come on." She just was being very direct and telling me that she wanted to do other stuff. Well, with what I know now, I think what she did was the right thing, because I mean, she wanted to do other stuff. Instead of pretending or maybe grumbling after I've left, maybe I lost like 3 or more hours there, she just made it out there, said that she wanted to leave. But it was very surprising. It was really surprising. The next thing would be the GP, the general practitioner. If you've seen my video where I talked about things you need to do before when you come into the Netherlands, you will see I talked about, I stressed how important it is to get a general practitioner, because if you do not get one on time, when you fall sick, it might be difficult to find a practice that would accept you. So now here in the Netherlands is quite different. Back home where I come from, I can go to the GP, I can go to the hospital whenever I'm sick. I don't need to get like an appointment to come, except when you have to do scans and all that. I just go to the, I just go to the hospital, pick up a card, and after I pick up the card, I register, and then I get to see the doctor and I tell him everything that is wrong with me. But here, you have to, call, and depending on how the situation is, depending on how serious the situation is, he'll give you an appointment. Now, if it's not so serious, you might have to wait, then you can come later for your appointment. But then when I just came here, one of the things that surprised me was that when I went for my visit the first time, after I told him what was wrong with me, we talked. I thought what was wrong. I thought what was wrong with me. We talked about it, and he told me he was going to prescribe the drug or not. I can't remember what exactly happened. And the next thing, I was like, oh, I have another thing I want to talk about. And I was like, actually, it's 1 issue per visit. Why? So what if I have something else that was pressing, but I talked about the first one? I don't know. I really did not know. It was just like, why can't I talk about everything? Why do I have to book a separate appointment for another thing I want to talk about? What if it gets worse before that time? I was just like, come on, why? But I would also like to state that it's not the same for my baby. Whenever my baby has a need and I call them, they always attend to him so fast. And I'm like, why do you people do this to the grown-ups? Is it that we should stop growing or what? Because my son gets everything he wants. Like, I can call them for an appointment. In fact, let me even tell you what happened to me one time. So I called them for my son and I called them for myself. They asked me to come for my son immediately, and they said, can you call back later? We can see what we can do about your case. So I'm like, this is not fair. But I like the fact that at least they pay attention to my baby. So yeah, I'll let that one slide. Another thing about the GP too, you also have to insist. I've seen like people talk about how you have to insist. It's almost like I'm in the court of law. I'm trying to say, Your Honor, this is the reason why I feel like you should give me choice, or I should go see a doctor I should go do a proper scan because I feel like this thing is really so this. And I'm like, why do I have to do all that? Why? Come on. The next one would be giving birth at the hospital. Now, if you've watched my video also where I talked about things you need to know about the maternity care system here in the Netherlands before you have a baby, I talked about the different types of birth. Now, depending on your situation, if you do not have a medical necessity to have your baby at the hospital, you can decide to have your baby at home, birth center, or at the hospital as an inpatient or an outpatient. Let me not do too much of that. You should see the video after you watch this one though. Yeah, stay back, watch this one. Now back home where I come from, we don't even think about it like, oh, would you want to give birth at home? When someone is even pregnant, you just walk up to you and say, oh, congratulations, so what hospital are you using? Like, it's always normal, like, well, let me say, like, it's large percentage gives birth at the hospital. It's just normal to like know that you're going to give birth at the hospital. For some people, even give birth at home is because labor started at home and they could not go to the hospital. But yeah, giving birth at home is a thing. And in fact, if you want to give birth at the hospital, yeah, you have to pay if you do not have a medical necessity, you know. But if you do have a medical necessity, you do not have to pay. Like I told in that video, I talked about how I had placenta previa, so I did not have to, you know, pay for anything. Everything was taken care of by my health insurance. But it's just so different here. Like back home, you tell someone that I want to give birth at home, they look at you, why would you want to do that? You crazy? Why do you want to give birth at home? Come on, go to the hospital. Where? Maybe because we feel much more safe at the hospital. I don't know. But in my situation, since I had to give it at the hospital after I was 36 weeks pregnant, I was happy. But yeah, for some people, when you tell them they have to give it at the hospital because maybe something came up, they don't. Some of them are not happy because they already planned you're going to have the baby at home. So yeah, it's just different. I don't know. It's really, really different. This might not be a cultural shock, but I just want to talk about it. Or maybe it is, but it was for me. So I've seen some churches that will just go on vacation or call it like summer break. I'm like, what? You want to take a break from the Lord Jesus Christ? A break for what? I remember when I called my father-in-law, who is a pastor, and I said, did you go to church today? I was like, no. Although I could have gone to another church though. Yeah. And he asked me what. I was like, oh, the church I attend the summer break. And he's like, what? Summer break? Summer break from what? When they not be saying at school, wait when they get summer break for, you know? It was very funny. But sometimes I get the fact that these pastors, those people working in the church, they need time to, you know, rejuvenate. They need time to, you know, rest and take care of themselves too, because honestly, if you are not refreshed or if you're not well rested, after a while you begin to burn out. I think that's what happened to me for the past 3 weeks that I haven't posted a video anyways. So yeah, you need to rest. I attended a wedding recently and you can find the link to the video here. And like I said, like I had a discussion with my friend in that video. We talked about how, you know, it's different. It's not like what we used to have in back home weddings, although people can have small weddings if they want back in my country too, but most times like I go all the way out and invite uncles, brothers, sisters, auntie. And what is quite different here is that, did you know you can be invited to like the wedding ceremony at the church or at the court and you're still not invited to the dinner party? Can you imagine? You just allow me to wear my clothes and come to the church or come to the court to tell you congratulations, and then you tell me bye-bye. It's so I will not partake of that ice. That's not how we roll. That's not how we roll back home. Like for us, if someone is coming for your wedding, I don't think it's opposite back home, because sometimes some people be like, it's a church wedding, let's just skip and go to the reception, because everybody wants to come to the reception, dance and everything. By the way, I have a wedding I'll be singing at in November. But I'm going to ask my friend, come, hope I will not be sent back home after singing. Hope I will partake in the feast. Yeah. Now the last one I want to talk about is the accommodation search process. Now, if you read about the Netherlands, or if you have friends in the Netherlands, they will tell you that it is difficult to get an apartment here in the Netherlands. It is just difficult. One time I heard someone say that it is much easier to get a job than to get an apartment in the Netherlands. And I don't know, maybe I agree. Yeah, I think I agree. So for me, when I was looking for an apartment when I came into the country after I got married, because the house my husband was staying was not eligible to register two persons, so we had to leave, right? And we had to go search for houses, but it was during the COVID period. So for us, we just book an appointment, and then there's someone there with you to show you around the house, you know. But it was just me and my husband each time we went. But fast forward to post-COVID, after I had my baby, we decided to move to a different apartment. And then you're in the house and you have like 6-7 persons coming to view the house. Guys, it is so competitive. It is so competitive. And for me, it feels a bit weird, because everybody knows themselves, like, oh, this might be the potential person that will get the house if I do not react. You know, after showing them the house, they give you like an ultimatum that, okay, so when they came to my house, it was like 10 p.m. No, sorry, 10 a.m. They come to do my house by 10 p.m. anyways. It was by 10 a.m. and when they came, and the guy was like, okay guys, so you guys have seen the house and you have between now to 4 p.m. to react. And I'm like, you're also giving me an ultimatum to react. What if I have another house I want to view between now and then? How do I, reconcile the fact? How do I know which one I want, But then my husband was like, come on, they don't have to wait for you. I think the whole idea is for them to, know if you're really going to take the house, or if they have to come with more persons to view the house after that day. And let me not tell you the one that busted my head. So after we, sorry, I like to laugh, because after you view the house and you've gotten the ultimatum, they will not tell you to write a motivational letter. Yes, a motivational letter. In his words, it was like, so you have to send a mail to the owner. You can attach a picture, tell the owner why you like the house, tell the owner a little bit about yourself, and yeah, it's going to decide. I'm like, what? I'm going to write a motivational letter to get the house? Is the house working for me? Or is it as if it's the house that wants to come and live in me and not me live in the house? Because why would I be writing that? It was really, really something for me that I was like, okay. These are like the major cultural. Oh, I didn't even talk about the weather. I almost forgot about the weather, guys. So in this video that I posted, this guy said
100% the weather. Definitely that. I've never seen such bipolar weather in my life.
Guys, the weather has a mind of its own. Sometimes the mind of the weather is turning on its own. Like, I kid you not, there was a time it rained, it snowed, and later it became sunny, all in one day. I'm like, okay, what is going on here? Do you want to explain something? Did somebody break your heart? Or you just want to mess up with our days? Because I don't understand. I'm not getting it. And yeah, guys, the weather can be so crazy. I think these are like the main culture shock I've experienced. Or they also have some things that I don't know if I'll call them culture shock. But the fact that people leave their curtains open, you can literally see inside someone's house. Like if you're walking, sometimes there's a struggle with me trying not to look inside, because sometimes the interiors can be so beautiful. And I'm like, this house is very fine, but you just want to hold back yourself and not do that. If you have any like culture shock you want to share with us, you can actually drop that in the comment section. Like, subscribe, and please don't forget to click on the notification button, and see you in my next video. Bye.